Are seller concessions making a comeback? I hope so, and I think they are. And we're going to talk about it. Seller concessions, first off, what are they? Maybe you don't know. Seller concessions, seller paid closing costs, can be called a few different things, but that's where the seller says, hey, we will kick in $4,000, $5,000, $1,000, 2% of the sales price, whatever it may be. We're going to kick that amount in to the buyer. We're going to pay this amount towards buyer's closing costs. All right. Seller to pay $4,000 towards buyer's closing costs. That's a seller concession. They are allowed. And for the past, we're filming this in early 2023, past couple years, seller concessions, laughable, right? You guys get booed out of the email that your contract is made. I like using that email reference. But what's happening is we're seeing as things are turning a little bit to where seller concessions are becoming an option. And so a lot of times if you're talking to your buyer out there, when you have seller concessions, we talk to people as a cash to close conversation. So we don't just talk about, well, your down payment is 3.5%, so that's what you need to have ready. And we don't even mention the closing costs. We can join them both together, okay? Down payment plus closing costs equal $20,000, right? Cash to close. Can you do that, Mr. and Mrs. Borrower? I can't do that. I only got 10. Okay, cool. Let's work it back. $10,000 is needed from the seller. Okay, $10,000 seller concession is needed. That way the agent knows when they're making the offer that they had to include that into the contract. Now, what happens though is you got to remember different loan types are different seller concessions. Conventional is different. FHA is up to 6% of the sales price. VA is 4%. So it varies on the loan type. But if you have a borrower that needs seller concessions, I would try to get them. Don't be afraid to offer or put that in your offer, because I know for a fact we have 2 coming in today and we had 1 last week that have seller concessions on them. All right, so just keep that in mind, because you don't want to negotiate seller concessions after you go under contract. All right, you don't want to do that. That's when bad things can happen. So one, your lender should be having a conversation with your borrower up front. Here's your cash to close number, not just your down payment number, cash to close. All right, and then that information should be conveyed to you. And then hopefully get some seller concessions. Hopefully it's a sign that for our buyers that things are going to get a little easier for them to get under contract. I hope so. All right, so hope this helps. Anything we can do, call my office, 239-437-4278. See ya.